Welcome, 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 geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to a brand new episode of Geek to Me Radio. Tonight, we have the king of the nerds, Mitch Hallock, joining us to talk about Terrificon coming up August 8th through the 10th in Uncasville, Connecticut. After that, our very own professor, Donna Northcott, joins us to talk about tickets so you can get to her brand new original musical, Hard Day's Night of the Living Dead. All that and more, stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors for Hogwarts houses, one ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And for those of you joining us in the greater St. Louis area tonight, listening to us on the Big 550 KTRS, hello to all of you. We appreciate you tuning in. If you're streaming us on YouTube and Facebook, hello. We do have video, which means obviously that Joey V, my executive producer, is sitting in studio with me, making the show sound and look as good as it does. If you're streaming us on the KTRS website or on the app, hello to all of you. And as always, if you're hearing us after the fact in the podcast form, we do appreciate you finding us and subscribing and listening there each and every week, or as often as you might do it. We appreciate that very much. Right off the top, this is so exciting because it always feels like Christmas comes about 4 months early every time Terrificon's around the corner. We've got Mitch Hallock joining us once again. 8th through the 10th, tickets are still available. He just had a big announcement this week of one of his guests. Mitch, thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's always nice to be here. I can't believe how many years we've been doing this, but let's keep it going, buddy.
Happy anniversary, 10 years for Terrificon. That's incredible.
Yeah, it seems like just yesterday we were there doing a site visit and we were just talking about all the things that have happened over a decade, and it's amazing. It's terrific.
It is. I guess that makes you Mr. Terrific, or is that a copyright infringement?
No, I saw he was the best part of the new movie. I'm like, why didn't I get that guy? Because years ago, I did have the Mr. Terrific, Echo Kellum, who was on the Arrow show. So
you were ahead of the curve.
I was ahead of the curve. I was being more Mr. Terrific before the new Superman movie. So, yeah.
But we should say the guest you just announced, I was so excited because I've not had the chance to meet him. I know you had him several years ago. Ki Hai Kwan is going to be coming back.
Yeah, he was here the very first year, 10 years ago. He was one of my 3 guests that I had. That's how small the show was. We weren't really a media guest show. We had John Wesley Shipp, The Flash, who's been with me a lot. He's coming back this year. Mm-hmm. We had Ki Kwan, my buddy there, Academy Award winner, from Goonies, Short Round, Loki Season 2, Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. He's coming back. Sadly, I can't bring our third guest. I wish I could, but I can't. And that was Mr. Kevin Conroy, the late, great Kevin Conroy. He was the third guest we had the very first year, 10 years ago at Mohegan Sun here in Connecticut. But hey, I've got 2 out of 3, so I'm happy with that. We
all know Kevin would be there if he could, obviously, because you've had him several years afterwards. I know you had him there with Susan and with Phil Lamar. It was right before 2022?
Actually, it was with Tim Daly.
Tim Daly, that's right.
First ever show, and unfortunately, it was Mr. Conroy's last show because he's a Connecticut resident, or was actually. So he came by and he said, and I know now, looking back, it meant more, but he said, I really want to come home one more time. And I didn't know what was going on. And unfortunately, when he got here, he was very sick, but he rallied himself, and, he was a great guy. He was a trooper to the end.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Greatly missed still. He's one of those people I'm sure you experienced this. There's people you have gotten to know or engage with, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't really believe that person's no longer with us. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, no, sadly, there's a comic book giant, literally a giant, 6'8", Mr. Jim Shooter, who just passed away like 2 weeks ago. He was scheduled to come back this year. he was very failing health. I saw him back in April and he didn't look that great, but he was like, oh, I can't wait to meet the fans. I can't wait to meet the fans. So we actually had things lined up. We had a panel for him. Now it's going to be a celebration of his life in comics that he did for over like 40, 50 years, what he's done for Marvel and so many other people. So we're going to talk about Mr. Jim Shooter, again, a giant, literally, and in the industry as well. I mean, he was phenomenal for all the things he did to the comic book industry and wrote too.
Yeah, he because I know I've spoken with people before, and I know he had a bit of a controversial reputation, but every single, it's so heartening because everyone who I've seen online, comic book creators and everything, have said, you know what, we may have had our issues, or, you know, at the end of the day, Jim knew what he was doing. It was a great, so I didn't see a lot of the vitriol that you'd almost expect from social media, which I think is a testament to Jim's character.
Yeah, not at all. In fact, as a lifelong comic book person, I've been reading books for over 50 years. And when I look back at my favorite Marvel era, it was under the Jim Shooter editor-in-chief reign.
Absolutely.
That's when you had Thor with Walt Simonson, you had Daredevil with Frank Miller, you had the X-Men with Claremont and Byrne, and then Byrne went on to do the Fantastic Four. Some of Marvel's greatest times were under his tutelage, and it's just a testament. He might have driven people hard, and maybe that might have been some of the resentment, but the results speak for themselves, and we're still talking about it here 40 years later, and they're making movies out of all those classic comics that were done. So, yeah, so hats off to Mr. Shooter wherever you are. You're not going to be forgotten anytime soon. So.
No, certainly not. And I'm sure a lot of the people who you've got lined up for the comic book talent will be singing his praises, no doubt. You've got some fantastic people. I love that you've got Ann Nocenti, who I've talked to before but never had the chance to meet. Chris Claremont's coming back again. Scotty Young, fantastic artist. Mark Silvestri, probably my favorite Wolverine artist if I had a gun to my head and had to pick one. I love the way he drew Wolverine. You've got John Romita Jr. is coming back again. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of the comic book talent you've got.
Yeah, and don't forget Kevin Eastman, first time he's ever been here, and I know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans are going to be out of their mind because we're calling it a celebration. It's been, I think, 40 years since he co-created the Turtles, and not only that, we're bringing the folks that did the live-action movie 35 years ago, the actors that were in the suits and such, and the Shredder himself, James Saito, is going to be there, so that's going to be kind of a cool reunion to have there, too.
Yeah, you had Francois Chow a couple of years ago, and he was Shredder in the second one. Now you can meet the original Shredder. That's great.
That's right. Yeah, and we even had last year, April, that was in the number 2 and 3. So, yeah, slowly I've been assembling the entire cast. I didn't even realize it till now, but yeah.
I'm excited that you've got, because I've never had the chance to meet these two individuals, and I've got some friends who are a little older than I am, and even my mother-in-law, her eyes got as big as saucers when I said, yeah, Mitch has the Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman are going to be. So you've got Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner. That's probably going to be a photo op that sells out pretty quick.
Yeah, you know, I'm 59. I just had my birthday a week ago, and I try to bring back every year somebody from my childhood, and I know there's a lot of folks around my age that remember. We've done The Land of the Lost. We've done Shazam. We've done Chips. I always try to bring the actors from the days gone by. And this year, you're right. It's Mr. Lee Majors and Miss Lindsay Wagner, the bionic couple from the 70s. So they're going to be with us as well. But the real big announcement that I did months ago, not for folks that have to be 60-year-olds to remember, because it's for all the younger ones, Miss Peggy Carter from the Marvel series herself, Haley Atwell, will be headlining this year's show as well.
Yeah, and she's fantastic, and she's just come right off her Mission Impossible run that she just wrapped up. And I loved Agent Carter. I love that they brought her back as Captain Carter, and she's voicing the character now in the What If series. So she's really, she's going to be, you've also got two Lex Luthors, because you've got Titus Welliver, who played him in Titans, and then you've also got our Lex Luthor from, I want to say Lois and Clark. Superman and Lois, thank you. Who obviously Walking Dead alum as well. So you've got two Lexes at this one.
Yeah, Michael Cutlitz will be back. Again, it was fun doing this year's guest list because I look back over the 10 years. I said, who's been some of the fan favorites and you know, folks that just the crowd loves? And Michael Cutlitz, this will be his third time with us. He's been with us when he was with The Walking Dead. Then he was on a show. It was the Hannibal show. I think it was based on the, Hannibal. Clarice. They did a Clarice spinoff. It was about Agent Starling. And of course, like you just said, he was on Superman and Lois. And we also have Superman and Lois themselves here.
Yes.
Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Tulik will be at the show. They were Superman and Lois, and even one of their sons.
Yes, Alex Garfin will be there, right?
Yeah, he played Jordan, one of the two Superboys, or Super Sons, if you want. They'll be there too. Yeah, we've got we got something for everybody. I always try to make sure when I do the guest list that, like, if you're a fan of this, we've got that. If you're a fan of that, we got that. We got everything. We're like one-stop shop for fandom.
And I know you are a huge Indiana Jones fan, so I imagine obviously bringing Ki-Hai Kwan back was fantastic. But the fact you got Karen Allen was
right.
The one that kind of took my breath away. I was like, oh, I've not met her yet, so that's incredible.
Yeah, Mrs. Indiana Jones herself, plus from Animal House, Starman, Sandlot. She's been in so many different huge films over the years. But Karen Allen's somebody I've been trying to get for 10 years now. And ironically, she doesn't live that far from Connecticut. So I was always like, why can't I ever get it? But she would always be involved in local theater. And they would have their summer theater festivals. And this is the first year I moved the show just right. So all the planets lined up. So Karen Allen will be joining us too. Hey, but speaking of big stars too, from the days gone past, you can't get past the Titanic. And I have Mr. Billy Zane, a.k.a. The Phantom, for you comic book fans out there. He'll be joining us as well, along with Henry Thomas, who was in E.T., of course, but he's going on to other big movies and TV shows.
All the House of Usher and all the Mike Flanagan. Yeah, so you can get Henry.
Dr. Sleep. Yeah, he was in the sequel to The Shining. He played the Jack Nicholson role. I was like, that was him?
So you could get him and Carl Lumley because they've done a bunch of the Mike Flanagan projects together.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. They could do Carl Lumley. But like you said, we have Phil Lamar, who's going to be the Green Lantern, or was the Green Lantern on the Justice League cartoon. But Mr. Carl Lumley making a rare appearance at a convention because he's not a big comic guy. He was the Martian Manhunter on the cartoon, and I think he played the role on the Supergirl show, if I'm not mistaken.
He was actually Martian Manhunter's father. It was David Harewood played Martian Manhunter, and he plays Martian Manhunter's father, and then Phil Lamar comes on as Martian Manhunter's uncle. So it was all of them were on there. That was really cool.
I'm gonna have a Martian Manhunter reunion. Yeah. I didn't even know that family reunion. That's a good thing. I'll have to bring that up when they're doing their panel together. But, hey, you guys were related, huh? But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, so many folks are at this year's show. It's not funny. And then of course I spent old time cartoons. The Rugrats. We've got Melanie Chardoff and Cheryl Chase. They were main character voices on that show. We even got Minnie Mouse. I mean, come on now. I've got all Disneyed out. We've got the voice of Minnie Mouse.
Right.
Catherine Robrock is coming there too. But yeah, I mean, it's a comic book show. I know we're going on, starstruck about all the celebrities that are going to be there, but it's like, can't forget, it's really about the comic books. One of the few real comic shows left in the country.
No, and that's I tell people this all the time, and anyone who's listening can vouch for this. I always say, for my money, Mitch, you've got the best Comic Con in the country because you really put the focus on the comic book creators, the writers, the artists, and you've got some fantastic talent every single year. You've got people like Jim Starlin, Chris Claremont, Paul Kupperberg, John Romita Jr. You had Jim Lee last year, and you really put that focus on the comic book talent. A lot of these conventions have become pop culture cons, and like 4 or 5 comic book artists or writers, and then a wall of celebrity talent. You've got, I'd almost say yours like 70-30, 70% comic book people, 30% celebrities.
Pretty much. You almost got that right on the head, because I was just doing, when you called, I was getting all the hotel rooms. I think it's like 100 comic book creators, writer, artists, and about 35 media guests from movies or TV. So yeah, that's almost dead on. Look at that. There's 100 so and 30. So it's If I was good at math, I wouldn't be doing a comic book convention. But yeah, something like that. No, but it is. It's not just the old creators that from 70s and 80s. It's the newer folks like Jeremy Adams, Jonathan Hickman, all the guys that are writing all the new stories from Marvel. Charles Soule, who's a big writer for Marvel, does
his Star Wars stuff for Marvel. He's been putting out has been fantastic.
Yeah, and he's done Daredevil as well and such too. But and then. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the comics because every Wednesday I'm at the comic shop picking up the latest issues. And I mean, before you called, how nerdy is this? I'm about to read the new Fantastic Four by art by Umberto Ramos, who's at the show for the first time too. And then I've got this cover here I picked up. It's Superman by Kevin Maguire, who's going to be back at the show because I got to get Kevin to sign it. So
Yeah, he has such a distinctive art style. I loved his work on Justice League, the original run that he did back in the day with the Justice League Europe, Justice League International kind of issues that he did with Keith Giffen.
Yep.
And I know that also that you mentioned some of those. One of the ones I'm excited about, who always seems to have a huge line, is Scotty Young. His art is just all the covers. It seems like you go to a comic book store and every week he's got a different cover out for some book that's out there.
I know. I try to pick them all up. I just picked up one this week that had like a Thor or Odin cover. I don't even know. Oh, it was for the book Imperial. He did a variant cover for that. But yeah, he just recently did the 8 Deaths of the Spider-Man or something like that. And every month he did a humorous cover of Spider-Man being put in a jar or getting stuck in a web or something like that. But yeah, Scotty Young just bangs those things out left and right, and they're always fun to look at. And yeah, his lines go on forever. So we're glad. And he doesn't do a lot of shows. So I was surprised when they contacted me that, hey, he had such a great time last year. I try not to get people back to back, but he's a very rare convention appearance. He said, hey, I want him back. So I said, what am I going to say? No.
Right.
So yeah, Scotty Young is back.
I'm sorry, Scotty. We're full right now. Sorry. So sorry.
Well, no. Yeah, as much as the fans love you and you're a big talent, we're going to pass this year.
Well, and
no, he'll be there.
To that, well, actually, you know what? Tell you what. Before I get into that thought, let me take a quick commercial break. We're going to do that very quickly here. If you're listening right now, if you have a question about Terrificon, maybe you've never been before, if you have anything you want to ask Mitch, you can either put us on the KTRS text lines at 84126, or I am trying to watch the chats that come up in the scroll on the video feed. So if you would like to leave it in there as well, you certainly can. We're going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial break. We're going to come right back chatting more with Mitch Hallock about Terrificon. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. Please stand by.
Sold separately from Lego Systems.
Pound Puppy, you're my one and only puppy love.
You can show your Pound Puppy how much you love him with snuggly Pound Puppy outfits.
Into your hooded on t-shirt. We're going biking. Snap your pop's jazzy jacket.
Pound Puppies and outfits, each sold separately.
Whoa! Now let's walk to the park. Uh-oh, thunder. Put on your dry doggy rain gear and you'll stay dry as a bone.
Hooded Hound t-shirt, Dry Doggy Rain Gear, Pup's Jazzy Jacket, and Pound Puppies all sold separately. From town.
Black Steel Robo Force!
Hunter the Conqueror is about to attack Max Steel the Leader. Wrecker the Demolisher to the rescue.
Ideal's new Robo-Force. Warrior robots with gripper bases and crusher arms, each sold separately.
Hunter's escaping.
Okay in there?
Okay, Dad. But we won't be safe till we're rid of Hundred.
Hundred the Conqueror, Max Steel the Leader, Wrecker the Demolisher.
Hi, this is Titus Welliver. I play Harry Bosch on Bosch Legacy, and you are listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Titus Welliver bringing us back from commercial break. One of the many guests Mitch Hallock will have at Terrificon. He played Lex Luthor like we talked about, and maybe you're like, well, hold on, didn't Nicholas Hoult just play Lex Luthor? And yeah, you're correct. There's a lot of Lex Luthors out there, and if you're kind of curious about the character of Lex Luthor, maybe, you've got a kid who you just took to see his first Superman movie, and you're like, boy, I'd love to get my kid into comic books. Let me tell you to go check out Bugs Comics and Games. They're our official comic book sponsor here on Geek to Me Radio. Easily accessible from either Highway 364 or from Highway 70. They're right there on Bryan Road in O'Fallon, Missouri. Pop out there. Larry's the owner. Go in and say, hey, Larry, I heard about this on Geek to Me Radio. What if I'm looking for Superman comics that are appropriate for my kid? Or maybe it's you. Maybe I haven't picked up a Superman comic for a while. What do I want to read? Larry will point you in the right direction. He's got new issues every single Wednesday. And of course, I always say it's not a real comic book store if they don't have back issues. He's got long boxes galore, $1 boxes, $2 boxes, $5 boxes, and then his glorious line of wall books if you're looking for something really special. Silver Age. He's got a beautiful Golden Age. He just put it up on Instagram. You should go check him Instagram. Bugs Comics and A&D Games. He has I think it's Marvel Comics number 88 from 1954. Gorgeous copy that he's got in his case up there. So he's got stuff going back to the Golden Age all the way up to new modern books. And if you're thinking to yourself, boy, comic books have become kind of expensive, though I'm not sure. Well, let me tell you, Join the Avengers Club. That way you start saving money every week. Create a pull list so you don't miss a comic. Tell me you want to join the Avengers Club. Don't sacrifice your hobby because you're trying to save a couple bucks here and there. You can do both. Join the Avengers Club and let Larry know what comics you're wanting to get each week so you don't miss out. Some of these comics have been selling out, like Mitch and I were talking about those Scotty Young covers. Those go quick. So say, hey, I know this variant cover is coming out. Could you hold that aside? If Larry's getting a couple of those, he'll put it in the bin with your name on it. If you can't get there on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever you get in, say, hey, I'm here for my pull list. There it is, easy as pie. Check him out on Facebook as well, Bugs Comics and Games, AND. He's got DC, Marvel, Independent, Valiant, whatever it is you're looking for, he's got it. I highly recommend checking out the new Skybound image line that's doing Void Rivals, Transformers, and the 2 G.I. Joe books, one by Larry Hama and one by Josh Williamson. They are fantastic. If you're an 80s aficionado or a fan of the G.I. Joe stuff, both those books are incredible. So check those out as well. That's my recommendation. Bugs Comics and Games, very proud to have them as the official comic book sponsor here on Geek to Me Radio. Chatting with Mitch Hallock. I was going to ask, because we were talking about, kind of joking about Scotty Young, and no, we're going to turn him down. Surely you get people reaching out to you and you got like, at this point, I'm kind of full. That has to happen with a show your size.
It does, because people think it's just like something I put together like 2 or 3 months before the date. But no, I'm already working on next year's show. I already have guests lined up next year. Like Kevin Eastman, I was on a 3-year wait list for Mr. Eastman because he just does only so many shows a year. Jonathan Hickman's coming. I think Jonathan does 1 show a year.
Wow.
And he picked our show to do. So yeah, I try. If I grabbed everybody that wrote me a letter, I'd have to have 2 expo centers and it would be something else. But no, unfortunately I tell people I can't fit you anymore. There's no room at the inn. They'll write to me. I'm like, look, I'd love to have you. I love your stuff. Maybe we'll take a rain check. We'll do it next year. And they're like, oh, all right, really? I mean, it's a good problem to have, sure. Because I remember when I started out, I used to go to all these shows around the country and just, hat in hand and say, would you please come to my show? But now, the name's gotten out. They know who I am. They've seen me around, so it's not so bad to get guests. And unfortunately, yeah, I try to skip. I try to rotate people out like every other year. Like, come this year and, skip a year, and that way you can come back and the fans will see you again. But I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's a 300,000 square foot facility. I guess I can start doing levels. Like
there you go. Yeah, like a Japanese garden, just have them on different tiers.
Something like that. Like I'll terrace it. Yeah, I'll be like a terrace Terrificon or something like that.
Or just start doing 2 shows a year, I guess. Maybe that's the other alternative.
Well, I do another show, though. I do a video game anime show called CT GamerCon in March, only because my wife said, do something. Because it's like the off season. I had nothing to do. I'd wander around the house and just get in trouble. And she's like, do another show. So we started doing the video game card thing. But I don't know, 2 Terrificons, I don't know. Like I want more trouble.
Right,
so,
I get that.
Yeah.
2 of the guests I'm very excited about because I've never met this person before, and his run alongside Marshall Rogers on Detective is my favorite, one of my very favorite runs of Batman. You've got Steve Englehart coming, which I don't think I've seen him at many cons either.
No, Steve was with us back in 2017. Like I said, I was going down my greatest hits and seeing who could come back. And Steve hasn't been here since we moved into the new expo. We were in a smaller facility at Mohegan Sun, the convention center. So he hasn't seen us since we've grown. But no, I'm a huge fan of his Captain America work in the 70s with the Secret Empire and all the stuff he did with the Avengers and such. So I've always been a Steve Englehart fan. So it'll be fun to have him come by. And of course, Jim Starlin's there as always. Jim comes every year. But the 2 of those guys, I have them on a panel called What Was It Like 50 Years Ago, creating the whole new type of genre at Marvel Comics, that whole, Odyssey cosmic comic books. There was no such thing before that. This is when everything started getting really wild with Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock and such. And these guys were the forefathers that brought in that new wave of far out comic book telling, so look at where we are now. I mean, every little kid knows Thanos. They know the Infinity Gauntlet. They know these characters like, Batman and Superman, but these were the guys at the, ground zero that started all this stuff. And looking back 50 years now, what do they think's happened? Are they happy about what they birthed into this world with comics? Because it really changed from the old, there's a bank robbery down the street and, you got to get them. And Lex Luthor's got kryptonite again. And, that type of story. Or Dr. Doom's going to shrink the world this time and take it off into space or something like that. Because they really did those far out stories, ideas,
Yeah,
So,
we really took it to another level. And I know I was thrilled when Jim Starlin showed up in Avengers Endgame when he's in the little circle with Steve Rogers. And I was like, oh, I kind of did the Leonardo DiCaprio thing at the TV or the TV.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah. I tell people that too. I go, I know that guy.
One of the ones I've never met either Richard or Wendy Peeney from ElfQuest, which has a huge following. ElfQuest, I never realized how big it was, and I started to kind of dig into it, and I don't think I've seen them at many cons either.
No, and it's funny thing is he's a fellow Connecticut person like myself, who's born in New Haven, and he started, it was almost like the birth of the independent comic book company. He and his wife, Wendy, they did this ElfQuest series, late 70s. I still have the first issue. I got to bring it in for him to sign it. But yeah, they started a publishing empire with that. And they weren't a Marvel. They weren't a DC. They weren't Harvey or Charlton Comics, but they started their own thing. And it's taken off. And here's another book that's been around since 50 years now. And they were in the trenches and they started the thing. And they have a dedicated fan base, fanatical, if you will, that follow the ElfQuest adventures. So they'll be at the show. Now that I think about it, you mentioned Titus Welliver. He's from New Haven, Connecticut. Melanie Chardoff from the Rugrats. She's from New Haven, Connecticut. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut. I'm telling you, this place is something in the water over here. There's a lot of creative folks that come from here. Phil Lamar, of course, went to Yale here. I got to get Paul Giamatti. If Paul Giamatti's
my gosh.
He's from New Haven as well. I'm about 6 months older than him, and I know we go to the same pizza restaurants. So, and there's another fellow that you guys all know goes to the same pizza restaurant as my friend Jerry Ordway, the comic book artist. We go to a pizza place every 2 weeks. And you ever hear of a show called Supernatural?
I did, yes, of course.
Jensen Ackles, the star of that show. He lives about 8-9 miles from me, and we all go to the same pizza restaurant. So one day I have to tell him, hey, look, man, Keanu Reeves was at my show last year, and Academy Award-winning Ke Kwan is coming back. So, I mean, if
you have no excuse, Jensen. Come on.
Come on, buddy. I'll get you some pizza.
Yeah, if you got Sam and Dean both, that'd be huge because I know the Supernatural fans are rabid.
Yeah. The fans would go nuts. The fans would go crazy. So, yeah.
And I know you mentioned Jerry Ordway. You guys do a great podcast, the Power Cosmic podcast, everything. And I love seeing your guys' takes on movies because sometimes it's you guys just driving around in your car recording.
Yeah, we do.
It's very fun. It's just kind of laid back and very fun. So I'm going to go ahead and ask your thoughts on the Superman movie. We reviewed it last week. What do you think?
Well, it's really hard because when you're sitting there with a guy whose name's on the special thanks credits at the end of the movie, and nobody else in the theater could say that. And I'm like, oh, what do you think? Because I look at him as like, he made his living writing and drawing Superman.
Right.
So I was like, we both liked it. We wanted to like it more than, we did, because I grew up, of course, I saw Christmas 78 or, Superman on the big screen with John Williams and Christopher Reeve and Gene Hackman and all that. So that's burned into my head. It's
Absolutely.
Like the first Star Wars movie. You're never going to compete with that early memory.
Certainly.
So it's good. I'd rank it Superman 1, Superman 2 with Christopher Reeve, and I'd put this in third place. Jerry got technical. He's like, well, this wouldn't happen, and they wouldn't do this, and Kal-El wouldn't do that, and Jor-El wouldn't do this. So Jerry's coming at it from a whole other storytelling point of view. But we liked it, but I'm looking more forward to Fantastic Four this week because I'm a Marvel zombie deep down.
Yeah. So no, that's
I hope they get that back on track. I really do.
Another Pedro Pascal movie. I think he's got 5 out this year.
I mean, I swear every time I look, I'm like, this guy's in another movie. He's The Mandalorian. He's in The Last of Us. He's in the Fantastic Four. I'm forgetting something else. He's another franchise, I think. I can't even think of it, but I know he's out there.
Yeah, he's in Eddington. Just came out this past weekend, and he'll be in Fantastic Four this weekend, so he'll be competing with himself at the box office. So
really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, wow. I didn't know he was in that. Jeez Louise. He is in a lot of stuff.
He's not in it much. He's second billing at Eddington, but he's only in it like, I'd say maybe a total screen time of 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it counts. It counts.
It absolutely does, yeah. And when you have his name, of course, it's going to get second billing, of course. And
I can't believe we're back in a time of summer when there's so many big blockbusters literally every week. I didn't get a chance to see the new Jurassic Park movie with Scarlett Johansson because I saw F1, I saw Superman, and then I've been busy with the show. And then this week's Fantastic Four. I don't even know if it's still playing in the big screens.
Jurassic Park should be, yeah. Yeah, I think Jurassic Park is. It just came out. But honestly, you might want to save it for streaming.
Because I'm thinking to myself, it's the seventh one. How many different ways can you have a giant dinosaur eat somebody and then they run away? It's the same story. I mean, the first one was great. The second one was okay. And then it's been the same, retread ever since. Right?
Yeah, no, if it wasn't for the cast, like Scarlett and Mahershala Ali, I probably would have passed. But I was like, it was.
It's like it's like those King Kong Godzilla movies they're making now. It's like I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. They're like Transformers with monsters. I have no idea what's happening.
You say which Godzilla? Matthew Broderick? Oh, I'll pass. Thanks. It's one of those.
Let's not. Let's not go back to 1998. I remember sitting through that one and going, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's very bizarre. So I know this is coming up August 8th through the 10th. Tickets are still available, and they can get them online. Or I know you said, they can, because some people on Facebook were complaining, what do you mean there's a service fee? It's like, well, get them at the door if you can, but who knows if they'll be sold out by then. That's kind of the chance you take. So get them online ahead of time.
Yeah, those online, they just don't do it to Taylor Swift. They do it to me too. Those big online ticket services. They call them convenience fees. They're like, look, you don't have to leave your house. You don't have to get in the car. You don't have to go drive here. You could just simply touch your phone and you'll have a ticket in seconds. And it's true.
Yeah.
So with that, there comes a cost.
Sure.
But I do sell them here. I don't sell them at Larry's store that you just mentioned there at your local comic shop. But I do sell them at local comic shops, even a record shop here in Connecticut.
I saw that post. That's really cool.
Yeah, you could go there, shop, get new books, get new comics, get some vinyl records, and pick up some tickets, and you pay cover value or face value. You don't have to pay any online service charges. And, that's a good way of getting back to folks and keeping it real, But it is what it is. It's the new world we live in. Hey, but I still have free parking, and kids 10 and under get in free. So that's a little extra bonus there.
Yeah. And I love the fact, too, for those of people who are coming in from out of town like me, if anyone's listening out of town and they're planning on going in, if you're staying at the Mohegan Sun, you never have to leave the property. I mean, there's 8 restaurants. I mean, it's
more
insane.
than that. Yeah, we call it the submarine because I come in on a Thursday to set the show up and I don't leave till Monday afternoon. And for those 5 days, you have no idea what's going on in the outside world. You can go outside, obviously, but you don't. People just stay in there all day. It's like they go to the show, they go out to the restaurants, they go back to their room, they come up in the morning, they go out again, and they just literally live there. It's like living in Disney World if it was enclosed for 5 days and such. But it's fun. And plus, you see all the creators walking around. After the show's over, you can go walk around and get a Krispy Kreme donut or go over to get a steak restaurant at Michael Jordan's. And there's Jim Starlin sitting next to you. There's Walt Simonson next to you. There's Jerry Ordway having a beer. They're all there. There's some of the actors walking around too.
Right.
It's very surreal,
Yeah. Do you have is the guest list completely finished? Have you announced everybody? Was Ki Hai Kwan the last announcement, or do you have a couple more coming up?
There was a person that was here last year, kind of a big surprise. I was texting him the other day. If he shows up, he shows up. It'll be cool. If he doesn't, it's not. But you saw him last year if you were one of the couple hundred people that got to see him on Friday. We'll see. Is
he coming back again? Seriously?
I didn't say anybody's name. I said we'll see.
Gosh, and I was so upset because I saw that post and I'm getting ready to board my flight. I'm like, oh, he'll be gone by the time I get off my plane. So hopefully he'll stick around for a little bit longer because that was so cool.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's all I'm going to say. You never know. As my wife says, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And that's what happened last year. We asked him and he showed up. And
well, just in case, I'll be sure to bring a certain comic book just in case this particular person shows up because I will get his signature on that.
You don't want to go berserk if it happens.
No, not at all. But no, that's exciting. That's always cool. You mean,
we'll see.
And even if he doesn't, there's still a huge amount of guests, the ones we've already discussed, to check out. And just like Jack Skellington, Mitch is already working on next year. It's not even Halloween. He's already working on next Halloween.
Yeah, I am. I'll start telling you who's coming next year, though. But yeah, no, it's a great weekend. I mean, I'm not just saying it because I own the show, but I'm just saying I would go to it. That's the whole idea. People go, why do you have such a good time? I literally have been doing these things, going to shows since I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
That was 50 years ago. And I know what I liked. I know what I didn't like. I know who I like. I know who I don't like. And when I came time to put my own spin on it and do it my own show, I said, what would I do? What would I have? Who would I have that I would, spend money and travel across the country? Dude, we've got people coming in from Australia, not for the first time, but for the fourth time.
Oh, I can imagine.
To me, it's crazy, but he loves coming here. He saves up money. He makes it a trip every 2 years. He's a huge comic book fan, but that's a long way to go. That's 26 hours just to get here. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's terrific.
Yeah. No, it's always impressive. And I usually try to do between 4 and 6 conventions a year because I get a lot of my content from there and get some interviews. And I think I've been to yours the past 5 years in a row. A couple years before COVID. So maybe about 6 years now. Before COVID shut everything down. So yeah, that's it, because it's just a don't miss it event that you do every year. It's really impressive.
No pressure on me, James. No pressure. Don't hit another home run there, babe. Okay.
I'm sure it'll happen. And I want to let all the listeners know too. Anyone who attended Two Rivers Comic Con, Mitch very generously spent an hour and a half on the phone with me because I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What are some do's and don'ts?" And you were so generous with your time, and you really gave me a lot of information that things I wouldn't even thought of. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Yes, I'm glad to pass on whatever little knowledge is in this skull. There you go.
No, it's always a great time, and I know people are always stopping Mitch for pictures. That's how big of a deal he is at his own con. So
I got to start charging. I got to make a fortune. Yeah, do photo ops with Mitch. Yeah.
Just throw it out there. Get the professional photo op done so you can wear a nice suit.
Yeah, no. I'll start. I got to start getting my hair cut and get makeup person. What do you call it?
Yeah,
makeover or something.
Hit the facial place there at Mohegan Sun.
I need a hair and makeup person to come in.
A stylist.
Stylist.
It can be in the credits. Stylist too.
It can't just be me wearing my Toledo Mudheads hat.
I think the Tulsa look looks good. I think that's just me, but I'm
kind
of unkempt to myself.
He's
but that's all right.
Day, so,
But it's always a pleasure to talk to you again. The website Terrificon.com. You can get the tickets there. You can check out the incredible guest list. I think if it'll have hotel links there. I'm not sure if Mohegan Sun has sold out the room block yet, but if not, I know last year I was a little late. I stayed at a Holiday Inn half a mile away. It's nothing, but there's some great places to stay and obviously really good food all over the place. I appreciate the time. Mitch Hallock, thank you once again. I'll see you in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yep, coming up. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time tonight.
You're welcome.
Take care. There he goes. Honestly, I've always said it on the show. It's one of the best Comic Cons in the country, so make sure to check it out if you get the chance. We're going to take another brief commercial break. It played right that time. Look, I hit the right button. We're going to come right back, talk with Professor Donna Northcott all about Hard Day's Night of the Living Dead, the Beatles versus the Zombies in this original musical being put on at the theater on UMSL's campus coming up July 24th to the 27th. Stick around for that. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. Please stand by.
New from Canada.
Seaweed's Tropicals.
It's Kenner's Seaweed's Tropicals. Camille, Baby Cascade, and Pelican. She's tan, has pretty blue hair you can comb, and looks cute in a little grass skirt. You can collect Flora Tropical, Baby Finella, and Little Dog de Bloom.
Seaweed's Tropicals.
Seaweed's Tropicals, Camille, Baby Cascade, and Pelly. Other Seaweed's Tropicals sold separately.
Introducing the new Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop.
Well, they're the mop tops, the Play-Doh mop tops. Just turn the chair.
They grow Play-Doh hair.
They're the mop tops.
You can comb it, wave it, style it, or shave it.
The Play-Doh mop tops.
You can let it grow down to his toes.
They're the mop tops.
From the Play-Doh Mop Top
Hair Shop.
The Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop, sold with everything you see here. New from Kenner.
Here's Sit and Spin from Kenner.
You can spin around, sit around, even carry it around. Let's go inside. You can spin some more, like before, most anywhere you put it down.
Sit and Spin, the indoor-outdoor take-along spinning toy.
Wow! You can spin like one, spin like two. How you spin is up to you.
Sit and Spin, you put it together. From Kenner's Discovery Time.
I love nuzzling up to you, Wind Whistler. You're so soft.
So soft, my little pony.
Walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call 636-241-9370. Act now. Call 636-241-9370. Be among the first 10 callers and get this important screening for free. 636-241-9370.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Geek to Me Radio, heard here every Sunday on the Big 550 KTRS. Coming back with the voice of Kevin Conroy. Boy, just kind of ripped your heart up all over again hearing Mitch talk about that. That was one of Kevin's, or Kevin was one of Mitch's first guests. Saw him right at the end there, and gosh, that just, I want to come home one more time. Just absolutely heartbreaking. But the good news is we've got a lot of cool things happening in the area, and most of those are usually centered around the city of St. Charles, the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, check out the website, discoverstcharles.com. All sorts of cool things happening. I know they're quickly ramping up. I know it's summer, and you think, what are you talking about Halloween for? Because time goes that quickly. Tempus fugit, as they say. It'll be Halloween before you know it, and they're already prepping their new characters and returning characters for the Legends and Lanterns Festival out there in St. Charles. If you're a Halloween fan, this is something you're not going to want to miss. It's a fantastic event that happens the last 3 weekends of October. You can go out and interact with the likes of Lizzie Borden. The wonderful Wizard of Oz is out there. You can do karaoke with the Phantom of the Opera. You can listen to stories from Edgar Allan Poe and the Brothers Grimm. And this is all free. One of the many events like this that happen out in St. Charles. If you're curious about this or some of the other events they have upcoming, whether it's food truck days in Frontier Park, or whatever you might want to do, check the website, discoverstcharles.com. It's a gorgeous website. You can click on the events tab, things to do. It'll have, if you want to looking for a restaurant, they have a restaurant guide there, and there are lots of really fantastic restaurants. Laura and I just took Grimlock out for a walk last weekend, popped into Sugar and Slice, got her some gluten-free macarons. I got an iced coffee and one of those giant cinnamon rolls that's the size of my head. Okay, nothing's that big. It's a large cinnamon roll, though. And we just had a great time walking the cobblestone streets. So whatever you're looking to do, if you want to try a new restaurant, check out some very cool stores like First Capital Trading Inc., or the Cozy Shop, or one of the other multiple. These are all small businesses, so your money is going to support small businesses. It's not going to a big conglomerate or a big corporation. These are helping a small business, and in this economy, that's very important. So check out the website, whether you're on the East Coast, like our last guest, Mitch Hallock, or whether you're right here locally, like our upcoming guest, Donna Northcott. You can check out the website, discoverstcharles.com, and plan your trip today. Historic St. Charles, as we always say, it's an historically good time. Speaking of Donna Northcott, she is back, the genius behind Magic Smoking Monkey Theater, with a brand new production, Hard Day's Night of the Living Dead. If you're a Zombies fan or a Beatles fan, this is a can't miss. Donna, thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's nice to talk to you.
Of course. This is such the stuff you guys do over there is always so much fun. And this is rather, because sometimes you'll do a parody setup, like you'll do Star Trek, or you'll do Jaws, or you'll do something like that. This is a completely original thing, like a couple of years ago you did Jurassic Park the musical. So this is a brand new thing. Talk a little bit about this particular event.
Well, I had been wanting to do a movie mashup and just was randomly had that in the back of my head, and one day was brushing my teeth and thought, oh, Hard Day's Night of the Living Dead, that's it. And it all started with the title, and then God bless him, Jason Cryer took on the task of actually creating a script, which is very good.
And this is one of those things that if you're just looking to have fun, if you think theater is all too stuffy, well, this is perfect for you then. This is July 24th through the 27th. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a new venue for Magic Smoking Monkey as well, yes?
Yes, it is. We, a couple of years ago, we performed the Star Wars trilogy in the Whitaker Theater at the Touhill, but we're going to be in the Lee Theater this time, which is a beautiful space. And actually, we're doing all three of our productions, Smoking Monkey and Shakespeare, this year in the Lee Theater. So we're very excited about that.
Very cool. Yeah, there's so many theaters around the area that you have worked at, both with St. Louis Shakespeare, obviously, and doing Magic Smoking Monkey. Is this, when you're looking at theater spaces, what are you looking for? Is it mostly space? Is it mostly, do they have the audience accommodation? What kind of do you look for when you're picking a new venue?
Oh, all of the above. And also have to keep the price under consideration.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, theater. But the folks at the Touhill were kind enough to ask us if we were interested in performing out there this year. And I think that we are a nice fit. They present so many productions, just such a wide range of things. I saw a dance concert there not very long ago, which was brilliant. And I think they get the symphony there and lots of things, touring productions. But with Smoking Monkey, we fit kind of a unique niche that I am glad that they thought of us. We're glad to be there.
And with you've been involved with St. Louis Shakespeare quite a bit as well. How many seasons is this now? Okay, well, this year is 30 for Monkey and 40 for Shakespeare, so I guess that makes at least 70 years old. Well, you don't look a day over 22, so you must have... say 65. You're much kinder than I am. Retro aging, I think. You're Benjamin Buttoning yourself, I think. I'll do that. That's good. And with this one, this is The Hard Day's Night of the Living Dead. This is a musical. Did I read that correctly? Yes. Okay. We have a number of songs that are early Beatles sounding songs, but brand new. Jason Cryer wrote the lyrics for all the songs. And, oh my God, you're going to embarrass me here. And I'm going to have to call you back and be on the radio tomorrow for... Yeah, we can do that. With Jason Cryer, did you specifically have Jason Cryer because he himself is British and he had to write the musical for it? Yes, legally we were required to have someone who is British write the lyrics. I figured because it was a Beatles thing. Obviously, if it was an Elvis musical, you would have probably had someone from Tupelo. Yes, and we have someone on call just in case. We did do an Elvis show some years back, quite a few years back. In the 30-year history. Yeah, we did Girl Happy. Oh, my God. That was before I was, I think, in the monkey stratosphere, because that would have, I would have loved to have seen that. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that was, if my memory is correct, that was at Crossroads School. We were there for a few years, and I think we had Bob Atchison as Elvis, and I know Dave Wasilak and Randall Middleton were all in the show, and Amy Ells, a lot of the Monkey originals. Mm-hmm. Gosh, and I know they're always so fun because they're parody send-ups. You once described it to me as you're doing the very best show you can if it was a bunch of kids putting it on in their mom's garage. Yes, for $50. Which I think is brilliant because, like I said, there have been so many fantastic shows you guys have done. Do you plan? We were just talking with Mitch Hallock about Terrificon. He's already planning next year. Do you already have an inkling in mind what the shows you're doing for next season? I've got a few ideas I'm thinking about, but right now with the show opening this coming Thursday, I've had to put that on a back burner, but it's one of those things where I'll find myself just as I'm driving from one place to another, I'll let my mind wander a little bit and think about, that would be a good monkey show. Well, I know I mentioned it to Jason Cryer once before, and I think I'm wearing for those of you who are watching the stream, you can see I'm wearing my Batman shirt because I'm a huge Batman fan. It would be fantastic if you guys could do a Batman group and have the first, Batman Returns, go into Batman and Forever, and then Batman and Robin, and have the main actors switch out for the third and the fourth movies. I think the comedy writes itself. The Batsuit gets more anatomically correct as the night goes on, and just leave it at that. Unsettling, I must say. So that's my contribution. I'd love to see that, but the movie or the movies. the TV shows and the movies you pick to do parodies of are always such fun, and it's just hysterical. I've had friends who have gone to these, and they told me their sides hurt afterwards because it's just nonstop laughter. Being in charge of that kind of chaos and mayhem, is this something you just feel you were born to do because you do it so well?
Oh, you're so kind. I come from a family where my father was hilarious. He was absolutely hilarious, and that kind of got passed down to the kids. But with these shows, it's just, I grew up watching things like a lot of Mel Brooks, Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Just Warner Brothers, any Bugs Bunny cartoons, and all of that feeds into these shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just was seeing the chats there. Joey V dropped the link in. It's www. I don't know why I say www. I don't have to do that. I'm not 8 years old. It's stlshakespeare.org, magic-smoking-monkey. So you can click on the link there. Tickets are available. Even though they're in Tech Week, you can still get tickets, but I assume they'll be going quickly. You've got shows both evening and afternoon from the 24th to the 27th. I'm always curious because I love doing the later. Usually you would do 2 monkey shows each night. The later one would be a little more emphasis on the PG-13. Is this facility, are they letting you stay there that late to do 2 shows at night?
Well, this one is going to be, so we do 8 p.m. performances on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then 2 p.m. matinees on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
I think we want to not scare everyone at the Touhill right off the bat with,
I understand.
With a monkey that's too out of control.
No.
But we'll see.
Ease them into the bathwater. You don't just want them to just go right into the hot bath.
Yeah.
Well, I can speak from personal experience. These shows are always, always, always so much fun to see. So if you get the chance, if you're looking for something fun to do in the area, July 24th through the 27th, you can click that link in the comments. Or if you're listening to this and don't have access to the chat, it is stlshakespeare.org/magic-smoking-monkey, or just Google Magic Smoky Monkey. Usually they're on brown paper tickets and things like that where you can get the tickets from. Donna Northcott,
these tickets are being sold through the Touhill box office.
Oh, they're through the Touhill box office. Okay, so
so that's the place to go.
Okay, even better. So yeah, check out the Touhill, Touhill. Check out the box office there, the link, and you'll be able to get the tickets there. Donna Northcott, it is always a distinct pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much. And I'll look forward to talking to you here in another week. Break legs.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. There she goes. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure that we tell you about the Justice League Revisited podcast. We just opened up a Patreon. So if you can't get enough Justice League, go to patreon.com/Justice League Revisited. If you're a big fan of what we're doing over there, Susan Eisenberg, the voice of Wonder Woman, and I, you can click on the link and help support the show in that way. We've got some great guests coming up. I've got one that's a Patreon exclusive that we couldn't announce just yet, but our Patreon fans, if you're listening, you know who that guest is. We're recording with Monday. We're doing these a little out of sync, I know, because we've got a list of ones coming up. We just dropped a second episode of the episode Kids Stuff. We originally had the director Joaquim Dos Santos on. We just dropped one with the writer Henry Gilroy. And coming up on the 29th, we've got Joaquim Dos Santos coming back to cover Hawk and Dove. So we're making our way through Justice League Unlimited. You can check out the podcast there. This week, we saw a couple different movies. Joey V, you saw one that I didn't get to go see, though.
Yeah, I saw a romantic comedy called Oh Hi. And if you've been following The Bear, the TV show on Hulu, the reason you might want to see Oh Hi is because the girl who plays Carmi's on again, off again girlfriend, Claire Bear as we call her, she is the star of this movie, Oh Hi. And it's not substantive enough to tell you to go see it in the theater. But there's enough there that I would catch it on streaming. And it's about this couple that go out to the country to an Airbnb. And it's their first time as a couple going out to a vacation together. And she picks a secret door lock and finds sex toys in the closet. And they get a little frisky and do some experimental stuff. And he ends up tied to the bed for about 2 days.
Oh, gosh.
So anything that you think could happen, it could happen in this movie. It's pretty funny at some points, but then it takes some turns where because I like Claire Bear so much on the Bear TV show, I don't like the turn it takes where she goes full tilt crazy. So it may depend on your feelings towards that actress if you love how this movie turns out. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Oh Hi, it's a super small indie film, but it's kind of in that same vein of, girl power type, sex positive movies. I think Booksmart was one of those that came out a little bit ago. So it's something to look into if you're into that actress. I think Molly Gordon is her name.
Oh, yeah, that's correct, Molly Gordon. One of the ones that I saw it Tuesday night at the Alamo Drafthouse, was Eddington with Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal.
Very controversial movie right now.
I hate to talk bad because I always want to see the positives. I will say Joaquin Phoenix did a fantastic job. He's so good as this New Mexico sheriff. The whole thing takes place in the year 2020, just as COVID kind of finally takes hold in America. And Joaquin Phoenix is the sheriff of the small New Mexican town. Pedro Pascal plays the mayor. They're on two opposing sides of COVID. Wear the mask, don't wear the mask, lockdown, no lockdowns. The director, to his credit, never takes any side in what happens. They bring in the George Floyd riots and how that pertains.
And a little bit of Antifa, just a little spice.
Just a little, kind of like the guy who does the meme when he does the kind of sprinkles on. But it's just a bleak movie. But 2020 was a bleak year. If you want to be reminded of all the crap that 2020 was, just the complete crap storm of a year, then go see this movie. And it's just, there was a lot of story threads that kind of they dangled out there but did nothing with and never came back to. They introduced characters who don't really have any huge significance other than, well, we need a character to do this. So they'll put a character into it, and it's just, I gave it 1 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Unless you are a diehard Joaquin Phoenix fan, I don't see any point in going to the theater to see this. And I hate to say that because I love going to see movies in the theater, as you know. And I don't think this is probably the worst trash talking I've ever done to a film on this show. You can probably go back and check the records because I always try to be positive and everything. I don't like to bash movies. And again, to his credit, he didn't take a side, which I almost think may have hurt the movie a little bit. But it just was bleak. There was no point to it other than to remind you of how horrible 2020 was. And I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, with Eddington, it was directed by Ari Aster. So people may like him for his horror stuff because he did Hereditary and Midsommar. But he took a big turn with Beau is Afraid, and I really only liked the first hour of that. And when I saw this one, Eddington was 2.5 hours, and it was getting just dunked on online. People were hating it. I thought maybe I'll wait for James's review. So I've heard your review. I'll wait for streaming for Eddington.
2.5 hours is still long for a movie, especially one that's just that bleak and kind of.
Scott in the chat says it was perfect. So it may depend on your sense of humor if you find this sort of thing poking fun at all the different sides.
I didn't even find it humor. I mean, you could say satire. I don't even think it was like. I sat next to our friend Janelle, Holy L, and even we just kind of looked at each other after it was done and was like, what, why, how, and just, I don't know. So Scott, if you enjoyed it, fantastic. I'm so glad because I would never yuck someone else's yum. If you loved it, like I said, if you're a Joaquin Phoenix fan and have to see all his movies, go see it in the theater because he is very good as the sheriff. Pedro Pascal is in it for barely 1/4 of the movie. You see him. They probably could have shot all of his stuff in maybe a week, and then he could have gone off to do Mr. Fantastic again for the rest of the time. Who knows? But yeah, I'm glad some of you might like it. So don't always take my word for it. Go see it for yourself. Make up your own mind. But yeah, that's it. So there's our reviews for Oh Hi and for Eddington.
I want to give a full-throated recommendation to Apple TV's documentary Deaf President Now. It's a documentary set in 1988 about a deaf university where they have protests because the new president is still hearing. 127 years, they still haven't picked a deaf president. It's a wonderful documentary, and it was just nominated for an Emmy. And I think it'll go all the way to the Oscars as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well,
Deaf President Now. Check it out on Apple.
Apple. Check it out on Apple. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks again to my guest, Mitch Hallock of Terrificon. If you've not checked out that con, please do so. I'll be there. Don't let that dissuade you from going, though. It's a fantastic, for my money, the best Comic Con in the country, August 8th through the 10th. Check out Magic Smoking Monkeys Hard Days Night of the Living Dead, July 24th through the 27th at the Touhill Performing Arts Center. You can get the tickets at the box office there. Thank you, Donna Northcott, for being on. Thank you to our sponsors once again, the City of St. Charles, Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Bugs Comics and Games. Thank you to Joey V, whose voice you heard. I'm going to grab the wrong camera again. But thank you for him for making the show sound and look as good as it does. Next week, the voices of Mickey Mouse and Goofy are on the show. I'm so excited. Check out that interview next week. Until then, my friends.
This is Geek to Me Radio. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Mohegan Sun. Good night.
The Big 550. KTRS.
From